Hey guys, so welcome back to Indirect Knowledge. So we have a great tarot card reading tonight. This is a very specific question. And of course, like we all know that, specific questions sometimes can go, the probabilities get pushed out of the favor when it comes to these types of questions. So just so you know, but even so, I did have something that came to mind with this question. And so before I really get into that, let me tell you what the question is. So this tarot card reading is for Sharna. And Sharna, she's 30 weeks pregnant. Congratulations. I can only imagine what that's like. Sharna would like to know what day her baby will be born on. So many of you guys know that I typically do 7-card readings, and I normally talk about the past, the present, and the near future. And I'm normally calibrated to about 3 months out, right? So I can normally, depending on the energy of the cards, typically get some kind of a reading one way or the other as far as like when the actual day will, or the proximity of when an event will happen or occur or something like that, or I get some kind of information usually to do with time. Time is really an interesting thing though. Like as far as predicting, very specific days and times, it really comes down to just really getting a psychic answer. Sometimes things like that happen and it's very specific. I get an actual date. Normally it has to do when I'm actually like given a choice of like, will it be this day, this day, this day, this day, this day, this day, this day? And then out of those choices and all, I can typically, it's like ESP, extrasensory perception kind of kicks in. And then I'm able to kind of locate the actual day or the actual specific time. So that's what I did in this case. And so I know the date. I'll share that with you in a few moments. But before I do, I want to actually do a tarot card reading. I'll do this for confirmation purposes, but I'll also do this because I just want to bring some solace, some happiness and things around the pregnancy and kind of see where we're at with it. See if we have any information that we need to know. So let's go ahead and do that. Wow, what a great reading. Sharna, nothing to be worried about. So if you were worried when it came to the reading, let those fears just subside right now. In the past, we had the Queen of Swords. Queens are all about influence. This influenced your decision to have a child. I want to show you guys this. This is really cool for Sharna. We have not only the Queen of Swords, but we have the Queen of Wands. By the way, guys, queens are all about influence. So influencing things, the universe is influencing, we're influencing, Sharna is influencing and having influence over her future and everything, and having an influence just over day-to-day life. The swords are mental influence. The Queen of Wands is really about active influence, like actively influencing others. It's wonderful. That's the future. That's where we're at right now. Take a look at this, though, because we have a sunflower. Sunflowers are always sunny and bright and fun. They should be called fun flowers instead of sunflowers. No, I'm just teasing. I love the sun, too. Actually, the sun in the tarot is actually the best card in the entire deck. So to have a sunflower is sort of like representative of that. It's emblematic of that. And that's where we're at right now with this pregnancy. Like, in terms of like what's going to happen, things moving forward, we're influencing things with our actions, our activities, our thoughts, our actions. So it's about mind, it's about body. And the next card is going to be the future card, and it's also about soul. So we have mind in the first card, body in this card. That's where we're at right now, 30 weeks pregnant. The next card is going to be the soul card. And it's a future, and I'm calibrated to about 3 months out. But I've already done some psychic introspection, I guess you would say, utilizing some ESP, and I basically mapped out the entire calendar until I could pinpoint the actual date that I really picked a high significance. I felt a really strong connection to as far as this pregnancy and this baby goes. I'll share that in a minute, but before I do, I want to tell you what the soul card is in this particular reading. Congratulations. It's the best card in the deck. So I see a great pregnancy. This is going to be a happy child. Look at the sunflowers in that. So not only did we have a sunflower, single sunflower in the present moment with a wand of new growth, this time we have the sun, best card in the deck. It shines light, spreads light, brings joy. It's really one of the happiest cards that you can possibly have. And look at all those sunflowers. Look at the baby on the horse, the child, the infant, having a grand old time. It's about innocence. It's about things being out in the open. It's just a really, really wonderful, wonderful time. We also have, don't know, this is just, it's just a really good card. Now let's take a look and see where the energy is surrounding the current moment. That's his Queen of Wands. Influence of action. Well, it's about refining things, really getting things down, doing a great job, mastering our work, mastering what we're doing everything right, correctly. That's what we're at. Eight's about groundedness, getting things configured, working things out, making things right. That's what this card's all about. It makes perfect sense. I mean, if you imagine you're pregnant, you're about 3/4 of the way through your pregnancy, and you get this card, the Queen of Influence, doing action, and then you have this person really refining things, taking action, doing things in a nice way, putting everything together quite nice. Makes perfect sense. What would, what would you like? I mean, where's your energy at? And it's right here. This is sometimes called the Miser card, but it's really about holding on to, this is about holding on to material existence, holding on to the material things, holding on to, what we do career-wise, professionally, holding on to a lot of things that ground us. This relationship, the baby, being born, everything is about having kind of like a control over things. And that's where this energy, this is kind of where you're seeing things at, having complete control, not being subject to other influences or anything, but really being able to influence everything in your life. We see that from the past and the present, all the way moving into the future with the sun. But the past and present, they were both the queens, and those were all about influence. And in this case and all, this is about control. So influence and control is really where, we're trying to hold on to what we've got. We're trying to, make a nice future for ourselves and do things in a nice way. It may require us being a little bit selfish with our time and our resources and our energy. But hey, you're pregnant. It's perfectly, perfectly normal and perfectly, perfectly okay. Let's look at the outcome. We have the King of Wands. Kings are about authority. You had the Queen of Wands, which is about influence and being able to influence this guy right here, this king. And it looks like this king is really able to get other people to get on his page, to see his vision, to make decisions in accordance with his planning. And that's what the king is really signifying. It's about being the parent. And that's what you'll be doing. How do we get there? Knight of Swords. It's about really, honestly, taking some swift time to think. You got a period of time now, kind of this grace period, but it's not a short period of time. But you got a short period of time to get your thoughts together, get yourself mentally ready for this. And that's what it's going to take to really be able to move things forward and get yourself out there. And that's what this guy is all about. That's what this knight's all about. There's no fear. Everything is just about, taking progressive action in a swift and expeditious way. We have the sword here. That's all about the mental and just taking our thoughts and running with it. Being okay completely with that. So now it's the moment of truth. That's the reason you're probably watching. And it's to find out when the date will be. So like I said, I put the calendar out in front of me and I just went through every single day, putting it out there until I got to one day that just really spoke to me. And it just really was sort of what I was sensing or feeling in a very strong way was the day that this child would be born. And that day is September the 29th. I looked and it's a Wednesday, and that will be this year in 2021. This is a really good birth date also because we have a 9 and a 2, 29. And when you add those together, 9, 10, and 11, you have 11, which is a master number. So to be born on a master number day is quite significant. So a child will be, and we see that in the spread, we have like all the things that are kind of indicating that this is the case. We have the sun, we have the influence, parents, everything is going to work out really nicely and be just really great for you. But that's the date, Wednesday the 29th. It's September the 29th, Wednesday. So congratulations.